Welcome everybody. My name is Leah Moore from Eat to Play, and this is Rose, and she is from, I'm sorry, I don't want to say Rose, Veruschka.
It's okay.
From Rose Yoga.
I'm flattered.
I was going to call you Rose because Rose Yoga, for some reason, when I first saw it, I thought that. And today we are going to be talking about getting high off of your own energy supply, how to heighten your pleasure, your power, and your body confidence. And first, I just want to define what I mean by power. So when I say power, I'm talking about the power that you cannot lose, it can't be taken away from you, and it doesn't require anyone to be under you or under your control. And this power that I'm talking about is the ability to manifest and create. So this is our life force energy, our orgasmic energy, our sexual energy. That's what I mean when I say power. And so if you are in a place where you don't currently feel your own life force energy and feel like you get like high off of it or charged up from it, and you don't easily tap into pleasure, it could be that your life force energy is being drained away. And some ways that it can get drained is by habits that are running in our lives that don't serve us anymore. And today I wanted to put the spotlight on the habit of the MindLeader archetype. And the MindLeader archetype is an energy that can be operating in someone at a moment in time, or even a lot of the time, where they're frequently engaged in overthinking. And sometimes that thinking can be fearful, anxious, even like panicky thinking that really does drain our energy and affects how our body looks, feels, and functions. And so I'm just gonna like name a few ways that this can manifest in the body. You know, overthinking, it doesn't seem like it's that harmful, but it really can if it's really imbalanced and it really has like this fearful charge to it. It can affect our, first of all, it activates our stress response. So it can have us in the fight or flight stress response. And that stress response causes hormones to get released that can encourage our bodies to store fat. So that can affect how our body looks. And then this energy, it can also disconnect us from our body, from the neck down. Because if you're thinking about it, if a lot of your energy is here, that's less energy that's down here. And so we can easily miss cues for hunger, for being full from our meals, from needing rest, and also from following our bliss, following our ah. And if you follow your and you follow your bliss, that is one of the easiest ways to raise your energy and also raise your sense of pleasure, because just by the fact that you're following your bliss, more pleasure and more energy awaits you. And then also something else that can happen from just this habit of overthinking is that it can drain your energy to the point where you can't sleep at night because your mind is constantly running. And if it's thinking about anxious thoughts or things that might happen in the future that could be a problem, all that extra energy is in your system and your body isn't able to like calm down and relax and rest. And then you can't get a good night's sleep. And that can also have you feeling drained and waking up still tired. So those are some ways that this MindLeader energy can manifest and affect our bodies in ways that we're not getting charged up from our own energy. And if you're wondering if you have this dominant MindLeader archetype in you, I have a free quiz on my website. It's just 7 questions, and you will find out if this is the dominant energy that's in you. There's 5 different responses you can get, and the MindLeader is one of those responses. And that's one of the reasons why I brought on Veruschka to chat about this today, because she took my quiz recently and got the MindLeader results. So I would love if you could share, you know, any comments on how you have experienced this energy in you.
Well, I'm not certain like how you defined the MindLeader one, but it's so resonant for me in my life story. Like in human design, I'm the mental projector, and that really helped my life path a lot, understanding energy centers and that all my energy is up here. So it all makes a lot of sense. Like literally, I don't have any what they have a whole language of saying they that I don't have defined centers in my body, where like 80% of the population has defined centers. So they're more like in tune with their body, where I have to like actively, like everywhere I go and live, I have hot springs. I feel like I'm someone who needs to actually go in the ocean, go in the hot springs, like to get into my body because I'm so in my mind. And you know, that's why I love having reflexology done, or I try to make an effort to go barefoot as much as I can, just because I have to make an extra effort to like get into my body. And that's why I do the work with emotional freedom technique, because you're incorporating the body, mind, and speaking to it. And that's how like I've resolved many things. And I've definitely noticed that a lot of my struggles with food and eating has been around the sensation of nausea, not being able to digest life situations, and so not really being able to, and also like living to eat instead of eating to live, you know, which that's shifted a lot for me, where it was more like, oh, it's a social thing, it's a reward thing, it's a pleasure thing, but not really being in tune with what my body actually needed. So being in it for the indulgence. And so I've been like all over the map with my relationship to food. And I'm finally in a place where I did get to heal my stomach. I mean, I had probably 20 years of dealing with nausea, and I feel like that is like the second brain, right? Like being disconnected to what's going on, right?
Yeah,
and it was just a code I couldn't crack. And I knew I learned everything about nutrition and eating and every diet, and I couldn't shed weight. No matter what I did, it was still like all the protection on my body, And when I finally, with going on the keto diet, it just healed all of my stomach issues. And even this morning I woke up and I'm in another country right now on a different time zone, eating different food and at very high altitude. And I am just counting my blessings that I'm free of nausea. Like I don't ever have nausea anymore. And that used to dominate my whole reality. And like, it's just no fun when you feel like you want to vomit all the time. And so now it's like I eat nutritious food, and it just feels like good medicine. Like I enjoy it, but it's like outside of the scope of like reward or, and everything just feels really good. And I'm digesting everything right, because it's food combining, works for me. So I don't feel like sluggish after or passing out. Like I feel like I'm working with my life force now.
Wow, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. And you touched on so many different areas of, how being in here too much, not to say, don't be here, but if it's imbalanced, that we miss out on so much wisdom and intelligence and cues that really, it will guide the way to us feeling vital, and being aligned. And so, your journey really speaks to, being able to go through that process and get on the other side to where you have that healthy relationship with food.
And also, I wanted to reflect on one thing you said about anxiety and stress and things like that too. When you can't digest, when you have early traumatic experiences, like one of the things that flashed to mind when you said anxiety was, when I was 5, my parent was like making me finish my dinner, and I just didn't want to. I was like, I don't want to eat these stupid hot dogs. And I just was so mad. I was like, I'm not going to eat these hot dogs. And and suddenly we had an in-home invasion. Some guys knocked on the door and came in with weapons. So this was a very traumatic experience,
Wow.
and it happened to me over food. And so that's something I have definitely taken into consideration in my life story, because I've always eaten on the go. Like, I don't like to sit down alone and have a meal. Like, I'm always like taking it to go and multitasking. Like, what could I be doing while I'm eating? Like, it's as if there's still the sense of unsafety to sit down and enjoy your meal because something could happen and hijack the whole situation.
Wow.
So to actually like give yourself the grace and realization, like, wow, that's a really traumatic thing to happen in conjunction to nourishing yourself, right? And
Exactly.
so that's something like I have to be like, why did you not leave time? And you're again taking it in a Tupperware and eating it in the car, like as if you're saving time, you know? So I'm still working with that too, to just not have the anxiety while eating.
So some of that anxiety is still present.
Not so much, but it's more like the habits I've created from that
Yeah.
event, right? So I'm
Yeah.
just kind of trying to still decondition some of those habits. Like, no, there's time, enjoy it. You're worthy of nourishing yourself and enjoying the food.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. And you bring up a good point about these habit patterns. You know, they never really go away. What happens is we can create new ones. And the more we do those new preferred habit pathways, that becomes kind of like the default groove more than these old pathways that we don't want anymore. You know, so it's kind of good to mention that, because we might think that we're not, you know, we're failing or we're doing something wrong if an old habit pattern comes back up. But it's just because you can't erase it completely, but you can like not do it enough times where it gets weaker and weaker, and do the new habit more times so that gets stronger and stronger. So that is almost like what your body will naturally go to, as opposed to that old habit that you don't want to do anymore. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And
nothing is,
like
yeah.
nourishment is so important because it is like where we get to reparent ourselves, you know, like it's okay, slow down, like talk to yourself like a toddler.
Right.
You know,
I know.
you get to have a fork and a spoon and get a napkin, you know, like just
Yes.
doing things different from the part that just goes on automatic, right?
I know, like I have this thing with speed eating, and I know why it started. It wasn't from trauma, but it started. I guess I did it for long enough. It became a habit, and I still find myself doing it. And I can hear my dad's voice. He used to tell me to slow down. So we used to eat Sunday dinners together, and he would be telling me to slow down. And I can hear him saying, slow down. But it's so funny that like I have no reason to be rushing, but I'll find myself doing that. And so just being aware of these patterns, that's half the battle, because you can only change something once you become aware of it. And once you become aware of it and become aware that, you know what, I don't want this anymore. Like I want something else. So it's beautiful when you can see it and see it in real time. See it like, oh, I'm speed eating again while I'm doing it. Like that is like so much progress. And then the next step is to just make the choice to slow down.
Yeah. I've been feeling like a snake lately. Sometimes I'm like, I just swallowed that before chewing on it when I used to eat so slowly. And now I'm like, are you becoming a snake where you just like taking in everything whole? I'm like, what's
Right.
this about? Like, slow down.
Right. And not to mention that will slow down your digestion too, because you're not chewing the food into small pieces. You're just swallowing big chunks. So yeah, it all goes together. But yeah, so you know, speaking of like being disconnected from the body, and how do we get back to that? Like I love how you talked about grounding, you know, having your feet on the earth, your tapping practice, like all these different ways to bring our awareness back into our bodies. And that's one of the reasons why I started my monthly somatic sessions, is to have an embodied, felt sense experience of safety. And then while we're in our bodies feeling safe, we can work on other things. So whether it's flexibility, whether it's increasing our life force energy, whether it's tuning into pleasurable sensations in our body. I have a different theme every month, but at the core, it's about being in our bodies. So that's something that I have every month. The next one is going to be on March 20th, and you can go to the link in my bio or just go to my website, leomorewellness.com, and you will see the information for the next somatic session.
I'm so excited that you're offering these. It's so needed, and it's, you know, it's just as important as like booking a massage or something, to actually carve that time out for yourself. So thanks for offering this important work.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I just booked a massage for like 2 weeks from now. I haven't had one in like a year, which is crazy because I used to do them monthly, and then I got off the schedule and just been off. So I cannot wait to have that body work done.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the topic that you named this, about your own power. I'd like to hear more about what we're moving into here.
Yes. So, I mean, it's interesting because I have a podcast called Affairs of the Heart. And I think it was our first episode where we were talking about restoring sensations in our body of areas that used to feel numb. And through a lot of practices that I've been doing over the years, one of them being cold water immersion, really activated parts of my body, like sensations in areas of my body that I never felt any sensations before. Like I didn't even know those areas were numb. Like you don't know an area is numb until you start feeling it. And so it was so interesting. And so when I was talking about it, I used the phrase, like I would feel like I'm getting high off of my own supply, like my own energy. Like I would just feel all these beautiful like eruptions and just activations and just, you know, just energy moving in me, and it felt so good. And I mean, I would really feel like I'm on some kind of like natural high. And so I realized a lot of people, being that I was one of them, they don't have that experience. They're not able to feel the aliveness in their body, you know, whether it's certain areas or in general. And so it's so important that we tap into that, because that life force energy is our source of power, it's our source of creativity. That's the sexual energy. So our ability to really like experience pleasure at the highest levels is coming from that energy source. So I'm all about any practice or any conversation or any new awareness that can really expand our ability to feel that for ourselves. Because I mean, to feel your own energy like that, and to feel like you are empowered, you feel alive, you feel, you know, just more sensation. I feel like everybody needs to have that experience, or at least have an improvement from where they are now. Like from wherever you are now, if you could just have an improvement in that.
Yeah. I mean, there's no wonder that this whole Wim Hof thing is taken off, and that people are doing the ice baths and cold plunges. And, you know, you can say it's a fad, but I think people are just sharing that they're onto something because of the aliveness. And, you know, we are so trained to numb everything out just to like get by and get through the day, that it's so important to go from, you know, the numbing out through drugs and alcohol to like finding ways to really want to be here, really want to be in the body. And so I hate the cold, but trust me, I have benefited from doing the cold plunges. And it's like, you know, to get on the other side of that, it's worth it. And just to discover your body in a new state. So I'm all about trying new things. And I love that you said that you just like found new areas that have never felt life force. And you know how we were going to do this call a few days ago, but then how then life is like perfect timing, because yesterday I'm in Peru, you all. I'm in Cusco at like 11,000 feet here. And this is the heart of Pachamama, also known as the sacral chakra, which is our sex center, which is the womb, which is our center of creativity. So who knew when we planned this call that I would be here? I didn't know at the time I would be here. And I did this full day ceremony connecting to nature yesterday. And my brother passed away last year, and he was in a wheelchair the last 20 years of his life, and from a car accident. And so he was really present with me all day yesterday. And as I was like connecting with the earth and laying in the earth, I got to really experience embodying the feminine, and really just like, I know that to survive in my life, I've mostly operated from my masculine, and I've worked hard to come into balance with them, but I still feel like there's so much uncharted territory in my feminine that I haven't discovered yet. And so as I was laying on the earth, I felt a lot of the resonance of my brother, of like all the parts of his body that had atrophied, you know? And so the word atrophy has really come up. So I feel like it's coming up to service today, because I felt like any which way I was imagining all these like dried up rivers, and my legs like open, you know, because he was paralyzed from the waist down, like really visualizing inside of me like all of these new waters opening up. And I had this visual of, if you've ever heard of primary water, like the earth has so much water and can produce more water at any time, like through praying to the earth, like the masculine can literally, like as the creator, can pull up from the feminine of like voluntarily Mother Earth producing new water, and it's called primary water, where literally the earth can open up and a spring can come out. Like this is documented. And so I like really felt into like, wow, there's so much potential in the feminine just to create new life, but it has to be like called in, you know? So it's like a call and response. But it was just incredible just to be willing to surrender more as the feminine embodiment, and to be willing to open to new waters flowing, you know? And like a lot of the theme of the womb water, and like really like, what am I here rebirthing? You know, I'm here on my tippy toes, just like in service to creation and learning and surrendering, and like, okay, I get to practice even more what receiving means. So yeah, it's beautiful that we have this theme to co-create together today, because where do we eat and digest our food and get our nourishment? Our belly area. And where did we get formed as an embryo, as our fetus in the womb, like from our mother through our belly button? You know, like this is so much like in Chinese medicine, where we hold our lower dantian, right? It's like literally our most sacred area that we want to protect. Whether you're masculine or feminine, it's still like considered our second brain, or where our intuition lives. So it's just beautiful for us to maybe see where we're not letting things flow there, to be our own personal conscious creator. So it doesn't matter if you're masculine, feminine, listening to this, you can tap with us on this area, because we both have masculine, feminine energies, and we are infinite creative beings. And it's like, yeah, our mind is important, because whatever we can imagine and think, like we can like bring that fully into our body and like activate it, you know? And that's why we're just such powerful imagination producers, right?
Exactly.
So,
Yeah,
would
and that's
you?
the thing, getting from here into the physical.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, and like even when you think about your children or your brothers and sisters, like how I was thinking about my brother yesterday, to like really know wow, he was made of love. He was wanted. He was wanted by me, you know, like just like how everything is first a desire, you know, before it's created. And just to see like the whole story of like all the love he brought and all the love he's still bringing and how much he's teaching me. But just to, you know, sometimes our mind needs to see it in a story, in an arc that we can understand, you know. And I really was seeing like, oh wow, the whole path of creation is first from the intention, is first from the desire, is first from the love, and then we get to see it in the physical, you know. Absolutely. And that was really touching for me to be reminded of that, you know. And then to choose like how sacred our life is, and to just really wish for ourselves or be dedicated to have our best life ever. And that's like, that goes along hand in hand with what you're choosing to eat. What are you feeding yourself? What are you, so you have the life force to create the things you want to do, or enjoy the life you want to lead, or have the capacity, right? To navigate your life force. And you know, what is power? Personal power. Like I've heard Carolyn Myers say, it's like all personal power is deciding how you're going to navigate your life force, you know.
Yeah.
And whew,
yeah,
it's all within us.
Yeah.
So if we want to do a little turbo tap around like our power center, or reclaiming our power in our fifth chakra, is there anything, how about 3 negative things that you feel like you want to break through or release? And anyone who's joining our call right now, aloha, thank you. If you want to type in also something negative you feel like is blocking your power right now, we'll include that in the script.
So like a statement, or just anything that you want to release?
Yeah, well, what you feel like is blocking you from your personal power right now. And it can be a belief too. It could just be like maybe a sense of not enough. I feel like that's a theme that's been coming up, like just not feeling enough, or lack consciousness, or like, you know, this fear of not even having enough energy, right? This fear of not having enough time, or just fear, or unworthiness, or powerlessness, you know, like just, or things we say to ourselves, like, I'm not enough. So whatever your first 3 main things are.
Well, one thing that I have noticed is that part of the reason why I haven't given like my raw life force energy the steering wheel, so to speak, is that there's a fear of, well, what's she gonna do? Like there's a part of me that wants control, and I know that like my raw primal life force energy can't be controlled. Like it's very unpredictable. So I noticed that this need to be in control, that's a block to just letting my, my life force energy just do its thing. So I would say that's one. And then another one could be not staying present. So just being too focused, anxious thinking, like what's going to happen next, just being focused on the future. And then also too, like for some reason, like my to-do list, I think it's just a general thing in me about rushing through life. Like I want to get through my to-do list as fast as possible. So it's almost like there's this inner angst when I know there's things on my to-do list that I haven't done yet. And so that also is like fueling like anxiety and anxious thoughts. And so all of that I know is just draining away my life force. Like I'm aware of the patterns. So I would love.
It's almost like your higher, what I'm hearing you say maybe is this intention to actually enjoy the process.
Exactly.
Like, enjoy the journey, right?
Yes.
Like those aren't just like, oh, then this is not that important, I have to get through it and so I can enjoy life, right? But like, oh, this is actually, I'm having a lot of fun sharing these images on Instagram right now. They're so beautiful. Like actually the pleasure of doing those parts, right?
That's a very good way of saying it. Yes. Like not being focused on the outcome, but just enjoy the experience of whatever it is I'm doing.
Yeah. And I think these are really good points because they reflect our modern society and our common to-do lists and, you know, the whole technology game.
Yeah.
And our own like inner blackmail, right? The emotional blackmail we give ourselves. And like the self-sabotage thing, like the negative self-talk we give ourselves when we didn't do those things, right? Of just like the self-punishment kind of dictator, inner dictator stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Like, yeah.
And then
like
we feel it in our gut, right? We feel that,
that tension,
unease, right?
Yes, tension.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times I do notice that my core area feels tense. Like those muscles just tense up with this, you know, anxious energy.
Yeah. So if you all listening right now, if you want to tap along, I dare you, because you're going to feel it and we're going to put it in the field, clear this. You never know. Every time you tap, it does change your life. And
even if you tap after the fact, you'll get something out of it watching the recording.
Yep. And Leah is going to tap, be the response. So you will repeat after me while she's repeating it. And I'll call out the sequence where we're tapping, but I also don't want people to get hung up like you're doing something wrong. And one of the places that I do that most EFT practitioners don't is actually the gut. I love tapping all around the tummy, all around the pelvic, the panty line, because that's like where all of our like ancestral patterns live too, around the hips, about moving forward, about not doing whatever monkeys on our backs that we've been carrying forward that was modeled to us by our families, grandfathers, grandparents. You know, like we get to de-stress that right now. And so it's important to be actually tapping on these lower root areas, because that's so much our fundamental sense of safety, being here, being happy to be here, and being in our bones, you know. So let's see what comes out. Just going to go with the flow and let's begin. So we're just going to tap on the karate chop point. This is sort of like the setup statement of the theme. So even though I have all of this conflict with control,
even though I have all of this conflict with control,
living in my gut, it's too much.
It's too much.
Part of me wants to control everything.
Part of me wants to control everything.
And part of me is afraid of being out of control.
And part of me is afraid of being out of control.
I am so sorry.
I am so sorry.
I am ready to heal the root of this.
I am ready to heal the root of this.
This is no longer truly serving me.
This is no longer truly serving me.
I love and accept myself.
I love and accept myself.
With or without.
With or without.
This controlling behavior.
This controlling behavior.
Okay, take a deep breath. I'm burping, so we're on to something. And just inviting you guys to like sit up tall and straight. Put your shoulders back. Like this is this time we're taking to like stand for ourselves and be our own inner warrior here. So I'm going to keep tapping. Even though I am so anxious around this thing called life.
Even though I am so anxious around this thing called life.
Part of me believes that this anxiety is my fuel.
Part of me believes that this anxiety is my fuel.
To actually get things done.
To actually get things done.
I hate this feeling.
I hate this feeling.
This is not pleasurable for me.
This is not pleasurable for me.
All of this anxiety.
All of this anxiety.
Occupying my belly.
Occupying my belly.
I love and forgive myself.
I love and forgive myself.
Deeply and profoundly.
Deeply and profoundly.
I am so sorry.
I am so sorry.
Take a deep breath. I forgive that part of myself.
I forgive that part of myself.
That just can't process my life.
That just can't process my life.
At the speed my mind wants to.
At the speed my mind wants to.
This disconnect.
There's a disconnect.
Between my body and my mind.
Between my body and my mind.
I am so sorry.
I am so sorry.
I am giving myself curiosity.
I am giving myself curiosity.
And compassion.
And compassion.
In all the places.
In all the places.
I'm practicing self-judgment.
I'm practicing self-judgment.
Take a deep breath. Gonna tap inside the eyebrow. Feeling safe in my body.
Feeling safe in my body.
Side of the eye. What does that really mean?
What does that really mean?
Under the eye. I'm open to the possibility.
I'm open to the possibility.
That every day.
That every day.
In every way.
In every way.
I can find ways.
I can find ways.
To feel safer.
To feel safer.
Being me.
Being me.
Being my highest self.
Being my highest self.
Embodied.
Embodied.
I can do this.
I can do this.
I am doing this.
I am doing this.
Just by me considering this topic.
Just by me considering this topic.
Under the lips. Take a deep breath. There's a beautiful green hummingbird in front of me. I am safe.
I am safe.
To embrace the sweetness of my life now.
To embrace the sweetness of my life now.
And find all the areas.
And find all the areas.
That I've let atrophy.
That I've let atrophy.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
I just haven't felt quite safe yet.
I just haven't felt quite safe yet.
To fully be here.
Fully be here.
No one has modeled it to me yet.
No one has modeled it to me yet.
That it can be enjoyable.
That it can be enjoyable.
And safe.
And safe.
To occupy my body.
To occupy my body.
More fully now.
More fully now.
On a cellular level.
On a cellular level.
And in body, mind, and spirit.
In body, mind, and spirit.
Take a deep breath. You sound when releasing, because we don't even know what we're releasing. Any resist. So tap on the solar plexus. I'm safe to release.
I am safe to release.
Any remaining resistance I have.
Any remaining resistance I have.
To allowing all my channels.
To allowing all my channels.
To flow more freely now.
To flow more freely now.
And get fully activated.
And get fully activated.
To in tune.
To in tune.
With my life flow.
With my life flow.
With ease and grace.
With ease and grace.
I love and accept myself.
I love and accept myself.
Exactly where I'm at.
Exactly where I'm at.
On my path.
On my path.
Right now.
Right now.
Take a deep breath. I'm going to tap around the belly. Is there anything coming up? Any memories? Any like negative belief or like, oh yeah, but?
No, but I will say that I was feeling chills going up and down my spine. So something is working.
That's motion. Things are in motion.
Yes.
So tap anywhere. Like, you know, it's a lot of us feel like we want to protect our belly too. Or it's like a taboo area. So tap all the places that part of you might want to protect. All around the womb, your ovaries. even like your liver and gallbladder, where we hold resentment and anger, and all the ways that we just had to shut down around there or get numb and not let our anger show. Like, that's also fully valid. To free up our power places, to like really acknowledge the things we've had to shut down to fit in that aren't welcome in society. So even like just what we're doing, tapping together, it's so powerful that we're all putting our consciousness around this right now. So let's say, even though I might be shut down.
Even though I might be shut down.
In my power centers.
In my power centers.
In my womb of creation.
In my womb of creation.
Because it hasn't been welcome.
Because it hasn't been welcome.
It hasn't been allowed.
It hasn't been allowed.
There hasn't been space for me to shine.
There hasn't been space for me to shine.
I am so, so sorry.
I am so, so sorry.
I am open to forgiving those.
I am open to forgiving those.
That made me feel blocked.
That made me feel blocked.
Or that who actively blocked me.
Or who actively blocked me.
For sharing my energy.
Sharing my energy.
My unique energy.
My unique energy.
I love and respect myself.
I love and respect myself.
Even if I had to shut down.
Even if I had to shut down.
This is shifting.
This is shifting.
With my full permission.
With my full permission.
With my full awareness.
With my full awareness.
Around my precious, precious energy.
Around my precious, precious energy.
I am reclaiming my life force.
I am reclaiming my life force.
In my gut.
In my guts.
In my organs.
In my organs.
In my sex centers.
In my sex center.
In my womb.
In my womb.
I am trading in.
I am trading in.
Any unmet needs.
Any unmet needs.
Shut down dreams.
Shut down dreams.
With full-on creative expression.
With full-on creative expression.
What if it's safe for me?
What if it's safe for me?
To let my freak flag fly.
To let my freak flag fly.
What if my ancestors are on tippy toes?
What if my ancestors are on tippy toes?
And waiting for me.
And waiting for me.
To let my unique rainbow.
To let my unique rainbow.
Shine with innovation.
Shine with innovation.
Onto this earth.
Onto this earth.
While I'm here.
While I'm here.
My music.
My music.
Makes a difference.
Makes a difference.
And all of the 5 elements.
And all of the 5 elements.
Are waiting to take shape.
Are waiting to take shape.
Waiting to take form.
Waiting to take form.
And birth my unique ideas.
And birth my unique ideas.
My creative genius.
My creative genius.
I'm reclaiming my life force.
Reclaiming my life force.
In all the areas I've shut it down.
In all the areas I've shut it down.
I love and respect myself wholeheartedly.
I love and respect myself wholeheartedly.
Take a deep breath. And now we're going to say, I delete this self-sabotage.
I delete this self-sabotage.
In the form of fear and anxiety.
In the form of fear and anxiety.
And control.
And control.
Minus infinity.
Minus infinity.
Take a deep breath. Now I like to shoot this energy down and out. Have your palms facing the earth and imagine your whole meridian system, like from your mind, dropping everything down and out through your central channel, like basically your spine, out through the sex centers into the earth. allowing the earth to even help vacuum and siphon it out from the soles of your feet, your throat, the palms of your hand, and just imagine all the different gnarled up self-sabotage that we've been running through our own criticism that we've taken on, what we've mimicked from what our parents said to us, how we continue to, mimic these voices that keep us small and safe. But it's not anyone's fault anymore. Like, they're just not serving us anymore. It's just automatic ways, right? Mm-hmm. So just like being in that neutrality and willingness to let it go, because we're just choosing an upgrade together right here and now, right?
Yes.
And just imagining the earth doesn't take it like as negative energy. It just literally accepts it neutrally, and like electricity, it neutralizes it, grounds it down, turns it into compost. And if we free ourselves up from this limiting energy, we have more room for creation, room for presence, room for imagination, and like our divine activism, our divine purpose. Like, we are removing the filters that our ancestors couldn't. So it's just about observing and accepting, forgiving, showing compassion. Like, who we are right now, our ancestors paved the way for us to have the freedom to be who we are now. So just like giving thanks, thanks, giving room for healing, giving room for cutting the cords that are unhealthy and limiting us.
Yes.
Good. So I know you can't see me, but I've been doing this for everyone else also who will be watching this in the future. Let's take a deep breath. Any remaining resistance to just being safe in the body. So let's tap back on the tummy again and say, I am wholeheartedly safe.
I am wholeheartedly safe.
To take up space. In my body temple.
In my body temple.
And navigate my power. With ease, grace, and respect.
With ease, grace, and respect.
Top of the head. What if it could be fun for me?
What if it could be fun for me?
Doing all the little chores I do. Because they help express my unique creativity. I am processing this easily now. It's easy for me. To enjoy all the details. Because I enjoy doing a good job. I like to work out really well. Because I know I'm going to benefit from it. And my future self will appreciate it. So if I do all the little tasks with love and care. My future self will benefit. Just as much as my future clients. It's a win-win. Take a deep breath. So let's put our fingertips together. We're going to look through the center. Let's pick a good. Okay, let's just say, I am a powerful being.
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 I am so excited.
I am so excited.
To express all my unique ways. I love having fun. Being me. And sharing my heart. With everyone else around me. Take a deep breath. and come into namaste and say, and so it is, and so it is, and so it is.
And so it is, and so it is, and so it is.
Take a deep breath. I want you to thank your inner child internally for all that it's endured and still remaining innocent and magical. Thank you. Thank your higher self for being even willing and curious to do this work and guiding us here in this time and space, and sharing this time together. Thank you. Thanking our ancestors and spirit guides, everyone who's walked before us and is already helping us all the time. Thank you. And thanking Pachamama, our Mother Earth, for putting on this divine comedy, growing food that we can enjoy, all of it.
Thank you. Thank you. And
So how do you feel?
Rose. Thank you so much, Rose. That was, oh my God, Veruschka. I don't know why I keep saying that. That was beautiful. My energy was responding all throughout. And I just, the words that you said, they were so resonant and on point. So thank you so much.
Beautiful. I love, like, it's always so organic what comes through. Anyone who's watching, if you want to throw in a word of how you felt or anything you got, love to hear from you. It's kind of fun doing these lives. Are kind of a wild card.
Thank
I'm
you so much.
I mean, the miracle of technology that we've had a good reception this whole time.
And I loved hearing the birds in the background, like just, I know, the sounds of nature just like chiming in, giving some background music to our practice. So
yeah. And you know, we're all connected. We are literally, I mean, this is what it teaches me, just being here is just like everything is connected and we're all helping each other in every way. So it's helped me feel less shy even sharing, you know, broadcasting like this, because we're all having these synchronistic experiences no matter where we are. Like in our humanity, it's just so important to share our vulnerability so that we can expose it, so that we can all up level together, you know, like what makes us human unites us, and to really like do the work. It's so worth it, you know, it's so worth having less luggage and limitations so you can find out who you are on the other side, you know. So I appreciate your work so much. I'm going to try to make it for March 20th. And I am also offering an online experience that's for women only, but it's called Womb Roar. And coming back from Peru, I'm going to be bringing so much new experiences and practices. Like right now, I'm living across the street from Temple of the Moon, and yesterday we got to go in there, and apparently it's the temple of fertility, where they did ceremonies for fertility and sacred marriages outside, but it also is, they call it the temple of illumination, and they said it was lined with gold, and that's where you go and make like your life's prayer. And when I walked in, I saw this huge lioness head in the rock. It was like sticking its tongue out. And so I'm like, interesting that I called that class coming up in April Womb Roar, and here like the lion is like guiding this for me.
Wow.
So you can't make this stuff up. It's so literal.
It's so like aligned.
Yeah. All right. Well, here we are in an hour. You can go to my my link tree and find the class and contact me, and bring a girlfriend, because to do this work in a group with your friends makes it more you have more accountability, more motivation, and it's so powerful when we all, what I call, change our minds and our bodies together. We're really collapsing old paradigms, like by us choosing together, you know. It's all comes up here of how our body's going to follow, right? That's the whole somatic experience.
And your handle is miracle_. INC.
Yep. Oh.
Okay. So check
Okay.
out her offering. And if you just tuned in, I'm so glad that you said you feel the love. So yeah, definitely catch the replay. And so you can hear what we talked about that led up to the tapping. So thank you so much for joining, all the guests. And thank you again, Veruschka. This was so perfect. And my body is thanking me for it. So thank you.
Yeah, and before we sign off, I'll give a little tour here.
Yeah, can we
Maybe
see
from
some
where I'm saying,
hummingbirds?
here's Paco laying there, weeping willow.
Ooh, beautiful.
Anyway, just a
Ah,
little glimpse. All
paradise.
right, well, I'll be sharing more from Peru soon. Lots of love and aloha, everyone.
Enjoy. I'll speak to you soon.